La da 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 da.
I know, when we parked our van, our car, actually, and we came through to this location, and I said, I want to find a spot where maui'ana is somewhere, that bump, that hill. If we're going to be here and people are
The
listening to us,
cone.
the cone. Is that disrespectful? The hill? It's the
The
cone?
cone. It's a cone.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for joining us today.
You know Ariel.
You know Jason?
Okay.
We're co-hosting this wonderful program for you.
Yeah.
Called Mama Presents.
Maui Arts and Music Association.
That's Mama.
That's Mama.
I'm Mama.
I'm the Papa, I guess.
The Mama. No, this is Mama Presents. Well, the Papa joins the Mama to present it. That
Mama
always
presents.
makes it happen, right? Okay.
Okay. Well, the reason we're here today, there was a banquet recently, and
Ooh, is it good?
it was good, wasn't it?
Yum.
Mark Ellman at Avalon put together quite a spectacular meal. In fact, Suzi Osborne, remember when you were talking to her about it, Ariel?
Mm-hmm. Suzi-O has been so involved in this hemp movement for quite a long time now. She's very active in it, and hemp is an incredible, it's an incredible seed. It's an incredible fiber. It makes wood. It does all kinds of things that we used to use this for a long time, like forever. And all of a sudden it just disappeared from our land. It was outlawed.
Well,
So-
that's I guess a funny thing. It was 1937, but that's another story.
Well,
In
anyway,
fact-
this is a cheap way to get incredible things to eat and build with. And
Oh, she's talking about hemp as a cheap way.
yeah.
Oh, okay. At Avalon here recently, Suzi-O and Mark Ellman put together what they called the first annual Maui Hemp Seed Banquet. And Mark prepared a meal, and it was pretty scrumptious, in fact. Right? Wouldn't you agree?
It was delicious.
Well, I think you'll see more of that as we go. The reason for the banquet and the way to attract a crowd, they thought, was to bring over someone that had knowledge about hemp and its many uses and the values of it and how it might be valuable for the islands. His name is Roger Christie, and he lives on the Big Island of Hawaii. And he came over, and we're really glad to have had him. There are all kinds of crafts. Again, you're going to see this. I think the only thing you won't see is how wonderful the food is. You'll see a little sizzle in the kitchen, too.
Well, I should say you won't be able to see how good it tastes.
Come closer, if you will. I want to be sure we get you in the frame, Ariel. You may have walked out of the frame this whole time. I hope not.
So we hope you enjoy watching this luncheon and the people there and listening to the wonderful things that hemp can bring into our lives.
And, in fact, listen to Ricardo. Ricardo is playing every week in Kihei
Oh, yeah,
at
he's
Mexico Caliente.
He's
And
very good.
he was excellent. And you'll see some of him
We
also.
enjoyed him a lot.
Well, later in the show, you're going to hear a segment of music from the Lahaina Martin Luther King Festival, the I Have a Dream Festival. We have a lot of music from a lot of wonderful bands, and we're matching up some of this and some of that, so you get a mixture through our show.
We have so many wonderful, talented musicians and artists and people on Maui. It's such a
Yeah, we
wonderful
do.
pleasure to bring them to you and let you enjoy them from the comfort of your TV screen.
And I hope that when you see musicians here and you see them on TV, tell them you saw them on our show, will you? Okay, and
And support them.
you bet. Come out and see them. We hope that if you see musicians here and talented groups, that you'll come and support them. Same with the artists and all the good ideas and the people that we have on the show.
Yeah, these people really need our local support. That's one of the reasons that we're bringing this to you, so that you can get in touch with all that Maui has to offer and take advantage of it.
That's why we call it Mama Presents. These are the people of Maui and the great things that are happening here and what we can do to make this a better place. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy the show.
Aloha.
Aloha.
come forward and do a blessing for us. And so would you please at this time welcome Jane Ann Covington.
You would take this time to allow yourselves to keep your eyes open or closed, and to go within to bless Mother Earth, Father Sky, the great life force that flows through all of us and all that exists. And take this time to be so thankful for our good health and our well-being. Thankful for this particular day, full of education, the sharing of wisdom and knowledge, for the sharing of each of us to support the hemp plant, which has forever served humanity. To open up our consciousness, and through that, to share that consciousness with the rest of the planet, starting right here in beautiful Maui. And to say special thank you to Roger Christie, who will be sharing that wisdom with us today, and to bless him and his perseverance of doing that. And Suzi Osborne, the producer, better known as an ambassador of God, to bring us this opportunity. And also to the vendors who are sharing their arts and their wisdom and their understanding. And finally, to Mark Ellman and everybody working here at the Avalon Restaurant, who so expresses the creative nature of life by this wonderful meal that we're about to partake to nurture our bodies and our spirits. And finally, to send a very special blessing, and if we'll just please bring our consciousness together, for Phyllis Ellman, Mark's mother, who is in the process of experiencing the transition from life into rebirth. As we send our blessings to her, our love to her. And we thank each of you and ourselves for all the courage that and to acknowledge that the force of life flows through all of us and through and among each other. In love, responsibility, and freedom, greater peace. And so it is.
Thank you, Jane Ann. Well, I guess they're going ahead with the serving after all. So thank you, Pam. I didn't know we were going to be serving till after the restaurant, but we're doing it, we're doing it. So feel free to just dive in. There's a very few people that I want to introduce and thank. I've never had a staff of people like I have here at Avalon, with all of the wait people here, with Mark, working with them. So thank you. And the beautiful music that you've been enjoying and will enjoy throughout the rest of the banquet is from a dear friend of mine who I've been enjoying his music every night over at Mexico Caliente Restaurant in Kihei, Spanish classical guitarist Mr. Ricardo Villoso. And before I introduce each of the booth holders, there's one other person I wanted to introduce who is Roger's partner, co-creator, dear sweetheart. Where is she? She's behind a camera somewhere. Where's Yaz? Yasmina wanted to do something to commemorate the special time of planetary happenings for this event. Yesterday was a solar eclipse and a new moon, so Yaz created this beautiful gown, my goddess outfit here, and I just want to say thank you, and it has nothing to do with hemp except the date of the first Maui Hemp Feast banquet is the day after the solar eclipse new moon. And also, if any of you are interested, Yaz has another one of these beautiful outfits, robes, jackets, capes projects with her called Moon Over Lemuria, and Maui is, I think, is just another name for Lemuria. So, and we're going to hear more about Roger Christie later, but right now, each one of you, when you sat down, got a little plastic bag that was full of all kinds of goodies. When we started to plan this, I asked Mark, you know, if we could have some booths and really make this thing into a message, really educate the people. He says, okay, how about if each one of the booth holders donates an item for every ticket holder at the banquet? And I said, that's a great idea. So Ayesha has some beautiful clothing that is here from the mainland, from Earth Goods, and you can thank David Stunda for those of you that received the hemp wallets. So thank you very much. Ago, and he couldn't be here today, and yet he wanted to be so much a part of this that he donated the hemp seed cookbooks, and he also supplied a whole bunch of his hemp mail order catalogs. And again, most of you got those. I believe he is the largest solely hemp product mail order company that I know of. Roger, are there anybody else here? Has Don got it? Solely hemp products, the largest mail order company? I think he is. Another thing that we're really excited about, Richard Rose of Sharon's Finest, who's a very well-known supplier to health food stores, has donated. Some of you received some hemp cheese. And for those of you that didn't, you're still going to get to try it because it's on the flatbread that Mark made. Helen. Helen Jones, you want to come out and have a seat too? Somebody can sit there when she gets back. Helen traveled over here from Oahu with her grassroots clothing, and they donated, yes, come on out so you can see who you are, Helen, all the way from Oahu, and she donated the other chocolate chip hemp seed cookies that says grassroots clothing, so thank you, Helen. Also in your packet of goodies, everybody got one of these. John Rulak of Hemp Tech, everybody got a copy of Industrial Hemp Practical Products, Paper to Fabric to Cosmetics. Please take that copy, read it, show it to somebody who isn't quite convinced that hemp is the way to go. Let's see, who else am I doing? I'm not introducing anybody else right now, except I just want to say a few more words while you're eating. I met Roger Christie, I believe it was January of 1992. And from that day forward, I became a very, very passionate hemp advocate, activist, whatever you want to say. And I have had articles in maui'ana magazine just about every single month since then on hemp education. And we can't do this alone. If you'll notice in your program, some of the things that you can do. You did the first step today just by showing up. And because of it, you're getting lots of free goodies. So I encourage you to please read the inside of the program that we made for you. I know that the booth holders really need to be supported in order for hemp cottage industries to take off. Roger Christie needs to be supported, but I just want to say we want your continued support. Talk about hemp, support it with your green energy. And I'm just really thrilled because when I first met Roger, he told me about the hemp seed banquet in San Francisco. And I says, gee, I think I'd like to do one on Maui. And it wasn't until I connected with Mark Ellman about 4 or 5 months ago, and he said, yes, that this whole thing came together. And it's just been such a labor of love, and I'm glad to see so many of you here, so many of my dear friends. And I know that, Andre, you're going to start painting on hemp canvas when you're not doing paper. And so I'm going to go ahead and I want to thank all the people that helped me, my friends and my staff, Heidi and Denise and Lee and everybody else. So I just want to say bon appetit, and I'm going to try some of this food. In a few minutes, we're going to hear from Roger Christie. Aloha.
That's the only place you can get them. You don't have them every day. How to survive it.
if you're cutting down on meat, so that is
Like eating a steak. Yeah.
Back inside for you.
There you go.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Chris.
That was godly. Dressing for the... Hello, how are you, Mabuzo? Mira, yo Mabuzo. No te lo acabaste tú todo.
Yeah, I forgot what it is.
A esa cámara que es...
Okay?
Woo! All right.
Roger gave me a beautiful. Can I have your attention, please? Somewhere, so if one of you find one that looks just like this, Roger just gave it to me yesterday, so really would love to find it. So if you find it, please, I dropped it somewhere over around the front. And it's full, yeah, it's full of, it says real marijuana seeds. However, I'm sure they're real hemp seeds. Otherwise, we'll have kids trying to break into this anyway. Also, there is one other person that I didn't introduce that I do want to acknowledge the Maui News for the help that they give us. So Laurel Murphy, thank you for being here, covering the event, and really being able to give us a statement from our recognize. Welcome to Maui with Roger. We're glad you could be here today and videoing the event, as well as Jason Swartz is videoing the event for Akaku. So anybody that couldn't be here today, we're going to be on community television. This is something that I've been wanting to do, as I say, for almost 3.5 years, is to bring Roger Christie over. Well, we brought him over 3 other times, 2 times for an Ohana luncheon and once for a little hemp meeting at MCC. However, to bring him over here for the first hemp seed banquet ever in the entire island of Maui. It was almost the first in the state of Hawaii, except the Big Island beat us to it a couple of years ago with their event. However, it's just a real treat, a genuine honor for me to introduce Roger, who is the reason I'm a hemp activist. So if it weren't for Roger, I wouldn't have planned the event with Mark and put it all on. So please give a very warm Maui welcome to Mr. Roger Christie.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Suzi. One of the first things I'd like to do as an acknowledgement of Suzi's good work on Maui and throughout the state and throughout the world. You know, you'd be surprised how far maui'ana magazine goes, and the people that read maui'ana magazine and how far we all travel and spread the good word. I'd like to present Suzi with a pin. It's a hemp leaf pin, and it was designed originally by Lawrence McKinney he's a Harvard Business School graduate, who created this as for veterans of the marijuana wars about 10 years ago, and considered our generation, basically, we are veterans of a declared war upon us and upon our culture. So I want to acknowledge Suzi with that pin. Hemp is the answer. What's the question? Thanks for coming out to support this terrific event. We're celebrating the sacred and divine hemp plant that has been an inspiration to many of us for many years. It's given the muse, the inspiration, and the munchies to our generation for 20-some years and more. We're here to turn the war on marijuana to peace. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
With education, with inspiration, with our loving attitudes, we can look at the hemp plant and look at those that are aligned with it and those that are aligned against it, and turn those pangs of war, or us and them. Let's try and we're trying to get rid of that us and them stuff and make everyone included in the peace and the good feeling and the good times that are coming with hemp as our helper, as it's been for thousands of years. Hemp has been mankind's #1 plant friend and helper in the basics of life, providing the food, clothing, the shelter, the fuel, and the medicine in an environmentally sane and ecologically sound way. So we've just been having the first courses of the hemp seed banquet, and I'd like you to all join with me in taking a few deep breaths together. Let's take 4 deep breaths. Yeah, that's to help our minds, to help our hearts, and to help our stomachs at the same time. At this point, I'd like to make a special acknowledgement and an introduction. Nothing, as we go through life and have our successes and our failures, we come to find that It's the help of our friends, our intimates, our family, and other people in our lives that really help us do the things that we do. Almost nothing is done completely alone. And Aaron Anderson is a fellow that's here today. Aaron lives on the Big Island, and Aaron and I happen to have the same birthday, although he appeared on planet Earth 12 years before I did. But we got into hemp activism together many years ago on the Big Island, and Aaron and I went to the hemp seed banquet in San Francisco in 1991, Suzi made reference to. And we were inspired on the plane back. We cooked up the idea of having a hemp seed banquet in Hawaii. Hey, let's do it. Aaron said, yeah, let's do it. Let's order a quarter-ton of hemp seed right away. Well, that was a bold vision, and we don't mind bold vision. The first 25-pound box that we had FedExed in to make some trial recipes with, some hemp seed bagels and other things, was sniffed out by those hounds at the Federal Express office, and they tripped the DEA alarm. They arrested Aaron right away, even though we never received the box. And this was, again, a box of legal, sterile, DEA-approved hemp seed. Aaron got arrested. I went to kind of help him and defuse the effort, and they said, oh, thanks for coming in. You were arrested too. So Aaron and I, after 4 years, we're still under indictment. And that's the longest legal experience I've heard of. We're still facing 10 years in prison and a $25,000 fine for bringing in hemp seeds. And I'd like to introduce my good buddy, co-founder of the Hawaii Hemp Council, Aaron Anderson. And we have another June 15th birthday with us. Yeah, Lucia is here to support us as well. Aaron is wearing his Dare shirt, and if you look closely, it says, drugs are really expensive. There's always another point of view to be had. We come here against really enormous odds. You can't imagine, or maybe you can imagine how many phone calls, faxes, meetings, plane rides, whatever, it has taken to come to this event today and to sit here in peace and in this beautiful, opulent, and gorgeous surroundings, to be able to take deep breaths together, to have this meal in peace without any harm come to anyone. Certainly enormous odds against us. However, as with many things in life, or maybe with everything in life, there's more than one way to look at it. Eating hemp seed is a custom that's as old as time, and yet it's newly rediscovered. And here we're enjoying it at Avalon in the finest tradition. We've all heard of the Last Supper. Well, we're calling this the First Supper. Because we know that the war on marijuana is an idea whose time has gone. The preamble to the state constitution of Hawaii, I just looked it up the other day. I thought there might be some inspiration in there, and there certainly is. In the preamble to the Constitution of Hawaii, it says in part, quote, "We reserve the right to control our destiny, to nurture the integrity of our people and our culture, and to preserve the quality of life that we desire." Thank you. Thank you, State of Hawaii. Thank you, founding fathers and mothers, for putting those beautiful words and that beautiful vision in there to inspire us still. We are also the people, and we do get to nourish and to control our own destiny. And make no mistake about it, we're here taking a bold and yet beautiful stand for that right as we're here today. We're not only changing minds and attitudes about the benefits and goodness of hemp, we're working to change the state law. Make no mistake about it, we want to change a law. That's one of the things that keeps us from having fertile hemp seeds in our gardens where they really belong. As the information and understanding of hemp changes, so does the law change. And that's what we're doing today. We're transforming the evil weed into the blessed and healthy product and the plant friend that it is. This is a doable project. So many people say, oh, it's so impossible, the New World Order is against us, and this is the Kali Yuga, and this is, oh God, we'll never make it out of here alive. There are only 75 lawmakers in the state of Hawaii, and 4 of them are absolutely hemp-friendly people. Absolutely. And there are many others that are closet supporters of what we believe in. It's just, and they tell me all the time, if you'll just get that bandwagon rolling, we'll hop on. But we can't be, we just can't get the bandwagon going. You're going to have to do it, and then we'll help out. So that's what we're helping to do today, is get that bandwagon going in a beautiful place with a famous reputation here for good food. Fine dining. From the Big Island, David Tarnas, Jerry Chang, Eric Hamakawa, and Mr. Oshiro. I forget his first name. Yeah, Joe Suki is Speaker of the House. He's, again, he's one of those people that once the bandwagon gets going, he will hop on right away. He wants to know, he wants to know that there's more community support for it, and that's what we're helping to show today. When the laws against hemp were made here and elsewhere, none of the lawmakers or us, I mean, I certainly didn't, I certainly can't speak for you, we didn't know about the health benefits of hemp seed. You know, when they made that prohibition, they didn't know what we know today. We now have, I was just showing someone the scientific analysis, the breakdown of the essential fatty acids in the hemp seeds. We have that. We have the history, we have the science, we have the evidence, and now we have the personal experience to put this program forth. We don't need to do any more research. You know, they're always saying, well, we need to study it for, another 10,000 years. Well, it's been studied for 10,000 years already. It's humankind's history includes hemp back at least 12,000 years that we know of. So we can prove it. It's not so risky anymore. We can prove it. We've done the legwork. We've done our homework well, researching folklore and databases and manuscripts for information backing our premise. It's all here available now. Some of the really hard part is done. Now we just need to spread the good news or the gospel of hemp around and get it in the newspaper and in a conversation and in letters to the editor. One of my visions is, hey, it's hard to get the media, and thank you, Laurel, for being here. It's hard to get the media to give us a fair shake and put this on a level playing field. Would it be just so easy to buy a full-page ad in the Sunday paper every Sunday for, until the legislature comes in session? How could they deny it at that point? Would it be great to get these public access TV shows on the air in a bigger way? Wouldn't it be great to get these products out in a bigger fashion so it's really undeniable? The information against hemp is propaganda, basically, and it hits your mind. When you touch the fabric, this beautifully organically grown fabric, it kind of slips through in another way. Your sense of touch says, oh, this is beautiful, this is soft, this is strong, this is elegant, this is wonderful. And the propaganda doesn't have effect. And as you taste hemp seed, your taste buds say, wow, this is delicious. This is surprisingly good. The propaganda, it falls away. And I'd just like to invite everyone to just let that fear, which I learned at church, fear very often stands for false evidence appearing real. That's what fear is a lot. It's a made-up thing, and it's not really true. Part of the reason we're celebrating and feasting today is all this good news is coming out. It's scientifically proven. We can debate with the best of them and win now. Certainly Mark and the crew at Avalon are proving that not only is hemp good for you, but it's also very delicious. Thank you, Avalon. It's delicious work. We're hemp inspired. We're having fun doing it. It's not an awful job. It's an awful good job. Hemp, as in life, is what we make of it and what we see into it. Again, we know there's legitimate fear out in the community. People have fears because some people have been harmed by using the hemp plant. Some people have overdone it, have misused it. We know that's true. I don't mean to belittle anybody's experience that's had a bad experience with it. It can be overused, it can be misused. However, there's another way of looking at it, and there's the safer and the saner way of using the plant that is a benefit to people that need it for medicine, and people that need it for their spirit, for faith healing, for other things. I'm convinced, and we're convinced, that transforming the marijuana into the marijuana problem into the hemp solution will bring about the biggest benefit in our lifetime so far. and create a virtual renaissance of culture and of society and of our generation that's been maligned, much like Mr. McNamara came out recently and said, sorry, the Vietnam War was a terrible, terrible mistake, and God bless him for doing that many years too late, but maybe in divine timing it's just right. Well, we need other people to come out and say, yes, the prohibition against hemp and this crazy war on drugs, which is a war on people, has been a terrible, terrible mistake. Maybe it's up to us, in a nice way, with good manners and the best consciousness possible, to relate that message to people. Hey, this has been a tragic mistake, and we're not going to let it happen to ourselves, our friends, or relatives, or even people we don't know anymore. I don't know how aware you folks are of the arrests for marijuana and hemp these days, but there are actually more arrests under President Clinton than there ever have been in the past. They're arresting 1,000 of us a day for simple possession of marijuana. 1,000 Americans a day. And this has got to stop. We're normal. The National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws is keeping track, doing a great job for many years, and they say that we're about to hit the 10 millionth U.S. citizen arrested for marijuana. Maybe this month, maybe next. It's a mistake, it's a tragedy, it's got to change. Thank you for your help in making this change. I'm going to read just try and make this, wind this up here shortly, but I'd like to read you something about the importance of the healing quality of the hemp seed, not smoking hemp, not the flowers, not the buds. This is from Hemp Seed Antibodies Sidebar. It's a hemp researcher found out this information. Quote, the body's ability to resist and recover from illness depends on how rapidly it can produce massive amounts of antibodies to fend off the initial attack. If the globulin protein starting material is in short supply, the army of antibodies may be too small to prevent the symptoms of sickness from setting in. Hemp seed is the premier plant seed provider of globulin starting material, the highest in the plant kingdom. Eating hemp seeds will ensure the immune system has the reservoir of immunoglobulin resources needed to make disease-destroying antibodies. Hemp is not optional anymore. Hemp is necessary. Hemp is essential for our good health, and we've been denied way too long the good health and nutrition that we need. Especially in this day and age, my goodness, food stamps are being done away with, and school lunch programs are being done away with, the care and feeding of elderly and infirm and handicapped people is being done away with. You know, as we sit here, every week that goes by, you read multi-stories in the newspaper every day about critical need programs that are disappearing, and to be replaced with nothing. To be replaced with nothing. There's no better time for hemp to appear on the horizon and on our banquet table than right now to provide the nutrition that's so sorely needed. Of course, we want organic, fertile hemp seeds from local gardens now. That's what we're really after. We've come together today to celebrate what we know and to celebrate who we are, and a peaceful, abundant future for all. We deserve the best. Everyone on planet Earth deserves love and true happiness and the best that life has to offer. Everyone does. If not us, who? If not here, where? If not now, when? Please join us in this glorious vision of a peaceful and abundant future with the hemp plant as provided the necessities of life. God bless us all. Pakaloa, everyone.
Two more quick things, and then we're going to bring on the dessert and the chef himself. This is what Roger got arrested for. So this is why when I got them from the Ohio Hempery, I was so careful. Every one of you has a free packet as a gift from me and from Mark Ellman to take home with you and to make a statement. You can use these to cook with, you can leave it out on your counter. I made a whole bunch more that are over here at the Alea Unlimited booth. I'm asking that if you would just donate a couple of dollars per baggie. Take some of these home, give them to friends. There are, you can get hemp seeds in great big bulk, but this makes a statement. These are legal, they're steam sterilized, and until we can have the fertile seeds, as Roger mentioned, this is the best thing that we can get. So, and another thing, each one of you received a copy of the May issue of maui'ana magazine that I'm very, very proud of. And it wasn't until 3 months after I changed the name from the island calendar to maui'ana that somebody says, "Oh, Suzi, you must have changed it because of marijuana," and I hadn't even thought of that. So if any of you are thinking that, it wasn't until 3 months after we changed, that's a good idea, but didn't think of it. So it's maui'ana.
Ariel, that looks very much like fish, is it?
Oh yes, it is fish, and it's covered with hemp seeds.
Is that it?
Yes. And there's hemp seeds mixed into the salad as well.
Oh yeah?
They're very crunchy and very delicious.
I see.
And the sauce is made from paprika.
Is that right?
It's very sweet.
Wow.
It's not spicy.
Thank you, girl. That looks like cheesecake with hemp seed, is it?
It is. Hemp seeds on the back.
Wow. I don't know if I should get too close. This camera may want to eat it.
Might bite it, right? Or
Ooh.
drool on it.
Wow, looks great. Is it good? Have you tried it yet?
I haven't tried it yet. I'm waiting.
What do you think? You enjoying it?
Real good.
Real good.
Everything's been real good.
Strungy and Matthew Smith. I bet, Bob, you would tell me that second to having a meal at your restaurant, that this was a pretty good meal. What do you think?
Very good, excellent. Very good.
Mark did a great job.
We're going to have one of these at my restaurant in about 2 months.
Yeah, we look forward to it.
We're going to try to take hemp and even do a little bit more with it next time.
That's terrific. Matthew, what do you think of this?
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here, and we look forward to the next one at your place, Bob.
A great meal, it was great. Mark Ellman did a great job as usual.
Thank you.
See you later.